Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. I figured I'd start out down here and then go to the upper garage. I'll give the shout out once I get up there. I have a pair of Lincoln welders. This is an old Tombstone, probably as old as I am. Then I got a more modern one right there. I'll go around and try to show you the face of it. The more modern one I got from Northern Hydraulics years ago. Yeah, that's the more modern one. And I bought that welder, and I was just kind of getting back into welding. I learned how to weld when I was in high school, so it was probably, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years later. And I bought the new welder, and I went to use it, and boy, I couldn't sink a weld for love nor money. I mean, it looked like my finger lying across metal all the time. And I tried AC, DC, everything. Then I said, well, I want to do this stuff, so I don't know what the heck happened, but I gotta get back to this. So I took a welding class over at Bosie's Night Education, and I'm welding like beautiful. So I'm like, what's with me here? So I, from class, the guy let me take home some rods and all, and we were using Hobart, but he had a Lincoln Tombstone there also. So I tried the Lincoln Tombstone, and I put down a nice weld, and I brought home the piece of metal. I put the nice weld down on. And back then we were just, over and over again, putting welds down on the same piece of metal, one alongside each other. So I brought it, the same piece of metal home, the same welding rods, same temperature setting as I used on the Lincoln Tombstone he had at the Bosie's facility. And once again, the welds just sucked, and I'm like, man, there's got to be something wrong with this welder. My father gave me that old Lincoln Tombstone you see there. He was moving down to Florida, and I took to welding with that, and I was thinking some pretty decent welds. I mean, is that a great weld? No, I don't think it's going to fall apart, right? So that's bubble gum right there. Anyway, so I talked to some buddies, and one guy who actually welds fairly well came over and tried it, and he said, man, you're missing a phase, you're only getting half. So I never did open it up and figure out if there's a lug disconnected, or because I'm getting like one side of the transformer, or the AC, I'm not getting the below zero or the above zero. So that's what's wrong with the newer one. It's a shame it doesn't work because it's a DC welder. Anyway, today's shout out is for wild-eyed northern boy, old Tommy Shoe, Michigan, Chi-Town as he calls it. Anyway, Tommy Shoe actually got me started in this whole thing, this whole YouTube thing. And I watched, and as a matter of fact, I still watch his videos. And he was making that toolbox right there. Right? And I wanted it. So I spent a little time, and he said something about Tommy Shoe, and he mentioned Chi-Town, and I Googled it and figured out the whole bit. And I looked him up, and said, if you didn't sell that box yet, I'd like to buy it from you. I called him on the phone, and we got to talking. Good guy on the phone and all. And I bought the box. He shipped it to me. I sent him money, and he shipped me the box. And we were talking, and you know, I was telling him a little bit about what I like to do and the hoard I have here, and he said, yeah, you should put a few videos up on YouTube, see how it works for you. If you like it, keep going. If you don't, shut it down. So I did, and I kind of liked it. A lot of his subscribers came over to join up with me. He works on cars, body work. He has a Ranger pickup truck he redid. Right now he's working on a chopper. So he's a cool guy. Lots of tattoos. But you know, real honest guy. Rock hard exterior, heart like gold. So you know, just one of us, I guess. Anyway, so go see Tommy Shoe. Go see Wild Eyed Northern Boy. You'll see his link down in the subscription. And tell him Harvey sent you. And today's video is about motor mounts. I got the motor mounts done. And the front ones I'm not having any trouble with. The back ones are a little tight. So I'll, you know, get around that. I'll just, you know, probably what I'll do is I'll just open this up a little further back, and that'll give it some relief, so they could bend a little wider, and I'll do that in the front and back. So that'll take care of that. The front ones seem fine, but I have motor mounts front and back. I tacked them with that thing, and then I you know, went down to the link and I showed you. I mean, the welds, are they great? No. Will they work? Yeah. And I welded these things front, back, sides, all the motor mounts front, back, sides. So I don't think there'll be any trouble. I got a lot of cleaning up to do. I got the lower garage has a bunch of stuff out. I got to put all the stuff away up here, so I got to get to doing that. Anyway, so at this point, tomorrow when you see this thing, all of this should be put together. And you know, quite honestly, if I slam a carburetor onto this thing, I can put it in reverse, right? All I have to do is push that pedal down and do the lock on the side, so I can put it in reverse and back it out of here. And then I can put it up into first, right? I'll have to cut the chain to size, throw a carburetor on it, make sure this engine is decent. I'll put the portable box on it, and I'll steal the little gas tank from there. I'm going to have to put a real gas tank on that thing anyway. So yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll get this thing out for its maiden voyage. Maybe we'll take it around. This engine might have a problem with an exhaust stud. Before I go through all the trouble of getting those motor mounts in, yeah, there's an exhaust stud missing. Nope, they're both here, and they both feel pretty good. This engine's probably fine. I should just smash an exhaust system on it. I think this is a 200S, but I think you know, the angles might not be great, but I think this will work. Yeah, the angles really aren't great. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go on there the way it's supposed to go on there. No, it's not. If I want to put this on there, I gotta go out the side. Yeah, I gotta go out the side with this. But anyway, I'll start trying to figure out an exhaust system. I'll smash a carburetor on it, and maybe tomorrow we'll get a first gear ride on this thing. We'll see if we can't do that. So I just wanted to show you the motor mounts are done constructing these things. I basically set the motor up to go hard up against this side first. So I made this motor mount first, and then I flipped it over and duplicated it exactly, which was the second motor mount. For up here, I had no problem. I was able to put a clamp on it, and once I clamped it, I tacked it, and same with the lower one. These built in the same way. I mean, we're not talking high tech. I just used my 4-inch grinder and bed rail. I already told you guys I used the Chicago Electric, the Harbor Freight welder to tack everything. So now it's just a matter of putting it all together and getting it ready to go out for a rip snort. Just quickly hold one-handed here. This exhaust system. Right, all I have to do is slide this into position, get some bolts through it, some spacers, and we're all good. So we have motor mounts. When I was figuring this whole thing out, a couple of things that worked and did not work. Suspending the engine while I was trying to figure out the whole motor mount thing, that worked. Suspending the engine and then using a jack underneath to set the tilt and all that stuff worked. Suspending the whole cart in the air did not work. To set up the axle and distances and all that, having it suspended, I don't know if things were torquing or whatever, but I couldn't get things to make sense. Once I put it on the ground, it really started to move forward. So suspending the engine while you're working on it and trying to figure out motor mounts is not a bad thing at all to do. But suspending the whole cart was a loser. Also having it on a trailer was a loser because it seemed that I was always climbing up and down and all around and having nothing but trouble. So to do this thing and to do it right, the easier way is to turn the whole thing into a roller first. And once you turn it into a roller, you get, if you want to go straight axle or you want to keep the axle that's in it, and just set your gear ratio so that you're turning the input on the axle quick enough. You really need to start out with a roller. Having the whole thing in the sky just it wasn't working. It was causing me more trouble. So once it was on the floor, on its tires, then I was able to move forward. And now you see the motor mounts. We've already discussed parallel and perpendicular and all that, so I don't need to go through that again. Anyway, I hope all this detail and all helps whoever wants to do one of these, put it together. It's not hard. If I do a second one, it'll be like, boy, this is a piece of cake. I don't know what took me so long the first time, but that's probably true. The more fabrication work you do, the better you get at it. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and folks, please get out there and enjoy all your days. Make sure you have fun. All right, take care now, folks. Bye.